24 million U.S. citizens and more than 440,000 Kentuckians, and includes 6,560 people in Madison County. Whereas worldwide, 308 million people have prediabetes, including 57 million U.S. citizens, including 226,000 Kentuckians, a condition that puts them at the highest risk for developing type 2 diabetes. And whereas each year 3.8 million deaths are linked directly to diabetes-related causes, and up to half of the people with diabetes don't know they have the disease. And whereas diabetes is the 6th leading cause of death in Kentucky, affecting children of all ages, and is increasing among children and adolescents. And whereas millions of people with diabetes lack access to care, treatment, and education needed to manage the disease and prevent its seriousness and costly complications, including heart disease, stroke, kidney failure, blindness, and lower limb amputation. Whereas an increase in community awareness of risk factors and symptoms related to diabetes can improve the likelihood that people with diabetes will get the attention they need before developing the disease and its devastating complications. Whereas the United Nations General Assembly invites governmental and non-governmental organizations to observe World Diabetes Day in order to raise awareness of diabetes and its related complications. And whereas the United Nations encourages supporters of the UN resolution on diabetes to fight the worldwide epidemic by helping ensure that people with diabetes have access to treatment and education. Now, whereas the theme for World Diabetes Day 2013 is Diabetes, Protect Our Future. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that we, Kent Clark Massacre Judge Executive, Steve Conley, the Mayor of Richmond, Mayor Berea, and Jim Barnes, Mayor of Richmond, do proclaim November 14th as World Diabetes Day. We call on all Madison County residents to combat this disease and its life-threatening complications by familiarizing themselves with diabetes warning signs, making healthy lifestyle choices, and by accessing the best quality of care that Madison County, Kentucky provides to its citizens.
Amen.
Now, we always, each year, we'll have a program at the courthouse, and we'll have some speakers, and a lot of people come up, and a lot of people that have been through this. So this was just really to kick the week off, but we support this big time. Next is Solid Waste Department update. Scott, you got some things for us?
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to do my report as of last week. It's been a very busy year in our department this year. We've done 309 large item pickups and 129 recycle bin replacements. Those older recycle bins that we started out with, I couldn't tell you how old they were. They were here before I got here, and I think the city of Richmond, we got them before that, and they're from the city of Lexington from the mid-90s, so they tend to crumble every time we go out to put them out to service them. Livestock removal service, we've done 903 head of livestock so far this year. We're right on par for our normal average between 12 and 1,300. That has really picked up over the last month or so. We've had probably a 31 or 32 average a week for the past month since the change in the weather. So, our loaner truck cleanup truck program, we've set that as of now in 199 residents. It's 199 homes that have been cleaned up or your garage cleaned out with that service. It's a great service. The backup list is probably, I expect it to be about February as of right now. So if you would call our department for the loaner truck cleanup program, it'd be about February before we can get one to you. Household Hazardous Waste Day, we had that at the special event on October 5th. We had 178 cars come through that event, and that processed 8,621 pounds of household hazardous waste that has been removed from our county homes. It's a great day, it's a great event. Most of that, I would say 3/4 of that is, that 8,000 pounds was oil-based paint. So, oil-based paint and just a good old household hazardous waste. Recycling it to date, we've processed 792,000 pounds from our 2,600 home route. That is on par for about Well, actually, it's on par to increase from our recycling cost last year on those numbers. Litter cleanup so far this year, in the spring, we cleaned up 351 miles, which netted 1,659 bags of litter. And this fall, we still got that ongoing. I'll have those numbers towards the end of the year. But, trying to get out and clean these roads up, the roads that need it at the end of the year. Any questions?
God, it really seems like, we've been around, I've been driving a whole lot lately, and we're getting a whole lot of production out of those two crews at the jail, along with everything you're doing. Things are starting to look a lot better, except in some areas where you pick them up one day and there's a
unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast. You can pick them up one day and come back, the next day, and there'll be trash there. And I've worked good with the program so far. We had an issue out at Battlefield Memorial Highway. We got that picked up. I just called Brandon at the state and gave him my request through the program, and they got on it the next day. So it's working real good.
They all look good this morning.
All white coat.
On the recycling bin replacement, how many have we added in the last year?
Onto the routes that we currently have, Magistrate King, we've probably added about 20 to 30 new homes within the routes that are designed, because sometimes in a neighborhood, it's not 100%. Somebody will call, well, my neighbors are doing it, I want to do it. So people that were missed out in the original setting. So we've added probably, I would guess, anywhere from 25 to 50 over the last year within those neighborhoods. So,
We've got any future expansion in other subdivisions?
Right now, most of the route system is, they're right at 550 homes per route. That's about the max that our truck can do. But you could probably add a few neighborhoods here or there. But as far as expansion, we're kind of at a stalemate to decide, where do we need to go in the future.
Oaks and the tree might be a good place to pick. There's 500 there.
Yeah, there are a bunch of them there.
I know you've been checking on that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Anytime we keep recycling free on landfill, that's it, once we save the environment, so if we can expand it.
I'll be happy in the future to put some numbers together on expanding the program and, see where we want to go.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
We had a couple of guests come in. Would you all happen to represent diabetes?
Yes, sir.
I'd really enjoy if you'd come up, and I did the proclamation, but if y'all like to come up and tell us a little bit about what's going on. Introduce yourselves and
First off, I apologize for being late. I just got to the location back.
We all have.
My name's Ken Scott. I think a lot of you know me anyway, and I'm with the Diabetes Coalition. She is Melanie Johnson, and she is a diabetes instructor, and she also is on staff at East. And this is a proclamation we'd like to get you to sign. You've already read it. Well, there's no point.
you're welcome to read it again.
No.
Like to.
I'll let you sign it. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Apologize again.
No problem whatsoever. Now, are we gonna have anything we'll pass this year? We've got the signs. Okay. 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 Okay, great.
And there should be some of that they all park on, and they're spread all over.
Good.
Thanks again.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Melanie Adams Johnson, and I am a nursing faculty at Eastern Kentucky University with baccalaureate graduate nursing. And I'm also a public health nurse for about 20 years. So November each year is the American Diabetes Month. And in November, we recognize here in the U.S. that diabetes is a leading cause of disability and death for our populations. Every year on November 14th, the global health community recognizes World Diabetes Day. So Madison County, Kentucky has been an avid partner in that recognition and also in providing resources and support for those that are living with diabetes and for the 40 million of us in the U.S. who are pre-diabetic or at risk for developing diabetes. So really quickly to give you just some information about the scope of this condition and where we are in terms of working together locally to make a difference. Diabetes is a serious, common, and costly disease. It consumes about 1/3 of our annual Medicaid and Medicare budget. So any of us who have been following the skyrocketing costs of health care recognize that that is a significant issue. The disease affects all people of all races, ethnicities, nationalities, ages, etc. One of the fastest growing populations of increasing diabetes incidence is children and young adults. We have a significant number of children right here in Madison County that depend on school nurses and school health personnel every single day for diabetes injections during their school day just to be able to be healthy and participate in school. So that's a phenomenon that when you and I were likely going to school wasn't that commonplace of an event. 1 in 8 Kentuckians has diabetes, already has that diagnosis. And another 800,000 of us in Kentucky have pre-diabetes or conditions that put us at higher risk for that. Over 6,000 of us here in Madison County are living with diabetes. So it's a significant local problem as well. We have the great fortune in this community to be able to partner well with one another. We have the Madison County Diabetes Coalition that's been in existence for about 12 years. This past Saturday marked the 10th anniversary of our annual Madison County to decrease the burden of this disease in our community. So we had eye exams, we had diabetic foot exams, we had kidney screening function testing, we had blood glucose screening, those kinds of early screening and intervention services that were provided to our community members at no cost to them. Again, it's a collaborative effort of partners and providers who come together to recognize if we can make a difference early in this condition and support folks to be able to manage their disease in a more helpful way, then the less likely we are to see increasing prevalence of complications like amputations or kidney failure or blindness, etc. So we appreciate the activities of the court and of other partners in our community for continuing to support our hard work and our emphasis on keeping Madison County as healthy and preventing complications from diabetes. So thank you all very much for having us.
Thank you all very much for coming in. We appreciate it. Yes.
Oh, yes. One other function of the Madison County Diabetes Coalition that isn't necessarily as well known, but that is critically important, is that we do provide patient prescription assistance resources for folks in our community who are living with diabetes but do not have a payer source for their diabetes medications. We want to prevent these folks from unnecessarily using our emergency rooms or for delaying care because of the lack of resources to afford things like insulin. So if you know of an individual or have contact with individuals through your various agencies that fit that description, then please contact us at the Madison County Diabetes Coalition, Mr. Ken Scott, myself, or Kim DeCoste to get connected to those resources. Thank you all.
Thank you very much for coming in. You can. Okay, next on the agenda is the Kentucky Transportation Agreement and Resolution 1310, and this resurfacing roadways. This is another agreement entered into by and between the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, Department of Rural Municipal road aid, in Madison County Fiscal Court. We're able to get several of these each summer that helps with our budget. Total amount of this was $277,128. And this is an agreement where District 7 sends somebody over and they get with Leroy, which they have done and approved all the recommendations. And we just need to get the agreement. I need the authorization from you all to sign as the Madison County Fiscal Court, get it back to the commissioner, and then get to the secretary and sign so we can get reimbursed on the $277,000.
So moved.
Magistrate King,
Yes.
Magistrate Barker,
Yes.
Magistrate Hughes.
Yes.
Magistrate Thomas.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes. Next on the agenda is Road Department, Leroy, you've got personnel issues.
I have two people recommended report to Heart today. Barry Smith, the head equipment operator, and Marvin Powell, the truck driver. And they both do the other CDL license. So moved. Second.
Magistrate King,
Yes.
Magistrate Barker.
Yes.
Magistrate Hughes.
Yes.
Magistrate Thomas.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes. Leroy, did you have to send anybody out this morning, or were you just out patrolling?
No, I brought them in a little bit early, so we had Parker plows going on, we put them on and washed them. They come in about 5, that's when I brought them in. It started snowing about 4. We didn't send them back, I got everybody out running the wraps, checking everything out, and checking their trucks out, and seeing if there's anything wrong with them we need to be working on.
We got things out.
We got things up.
Okay. Thanks, Leroy.
Everything's pretty much ready to go, just hopefully it'll be.
Johnny on the spot, thank you, Bill.
And as we amended the agenda at the start of this, Mark, we
Yes.
amended it to add the hiring of a county attorney administrative position for you, and I just, maybe you want to say just a few words about it, and we moved it to the last.
Sure, thank you. We've got the point where we could use an extra administrative assistant in my office. I envision using both in child support as well as the prosecutorial side. There's no additional money in either budget that we have, either from the state or from the federal government for the program. So what I'd like to do is to create the position here, hire it through the fiscal court, and have a 100% reimbursement to the court. That way that it wouldn't cost the court any money at all. But what it would do is give me the opportunity to hire someone that will get the county benefits. You really can't hire anyone without the insurance and without retirement. So this would be a good opportunity for me, and it wouldn't cost the court anything at all. And I don't have anything hired yet, of course. I don't have the salary set in stone. I just like to have the position, and then at that point in time, be able to reimburse, and I can work with it.
Any questions for Mark? If not, upon his recommendation, must be in order to allow him to add a county attorney administrative position through fiscal court.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Magistrate King,
Yes.
Magistrate Barker.
Yes.
Magistrate Hughes.
Yes.
Magistrate Thomas.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes. Next, the judge's report, just a few things on here. Reports, Sheriff's Quarterly Report, the Battlefield Golf, and the Animal Shelter are all in your packets and on your pads, I presume. So if you have any questions about them, please feel free to get with me or James or Clay or Mike. The Farm City Banquet was a huge success. I know I've been going 20-something years. I think they said they've been doing it about 40. They used to have it at breakfast. But somewhere around 180, 185 people were there. Just went real well. Great crowd, great food. So it was a huge success. The Holiday Heroes Christmas card campaign info on Channel 46 are in my office. And this is something that we try to do each year, and hope a lot of people participate in that. The Liberty Place annual tea is this Saturday. I'm not sure. What was this?
Last Saturday.
Was it?
Last Saturday.
Was it?
And I heard this
Okay.
last night.
I heard the plot was successful. Great, great time.
And Wilderness Trail Road Reconstruction Project. I'm glad to report to the court that we had an issue on the last piece of property, and that has been resolved. He came into the office 3 o'clock, and we had a great conversation and worked everything out to suit the county and to suit him. And we are proceeding with that project. They're moving full speed ahead, so that project should be done other than the blacktop, just depending on the weather. But all the construction, the reconstruction will be done this year. So that'll be another great project. Whitehall is complete, and we have turned in for full reimbursement on that as well. That's all I have on the judge's report. We go from department heads. Carly, you got anything? Jim? I know Scott, we wanted to know. Dwayne? Okay. Comments from magistrates. Greg?
So we celebrated yesterday, Veterans Day. I want to appreciate all those veterans that out there that wounded and, you know, got scars, some come back, not even life in them, but I appreciate all the men and women who served in uniform for our country, for us to have the freedom that we have. And I'd like to say thanks to all of them. And other than that, the snow is here. It looks pretty, as long as it ain't on the streets. So, that's all I got.
Thanks, Greg. Roger?
Yeah, I don't have anything good, just want to come in on the 25 coming out of Richmond, looks a lot better, it looks like we're just about complete with it. It'll look good.
It is. I'm glad you made the comment. They were working Thursday and Friday getting the surface, the final inch, 2 inches down. And we weren't sure. I talked to James Ballinger on Friday about this getting the surface down, and he said he wasn't sure. But it looks like if the weather holds up, they're going to try to have it complete by the end of the month. It's going to be a great project for everybody. Bill Ray?
Yeah, I went to a Veterans Day service at Central on Sunday, and y'all may not know it, the Madison Community Band is a really nice band. Our own Chris Israel is a tuba player. Anyway, did y'all know that?
Wouldn't have thought.
They really did a nice job, and we're fortunate to have that caliber of talent right here in Madison County. I wasn't aware.
Larry?
Weed as he is, you could understand that.
Like that, I guess everybody picks and chooses what they want. Judge, I really don't have anything. I'm glad to see the crowd we have here. Appreciate the opportunity to get free, so Madison County. And other than that, I'm just glad to be here, Judge.
Comments from the audience? If none, I guess motion to, I'm not going to announce the next court date.
Is it gonna be in Richmond or Berea next time?
Let's just strike that from the agenda.
Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
You know, I've never done that before in all these years. Man, it looks nice to you.
It's Tuesday before Thanksgiving, be at 9:30 at the courthouse. Motion to approve the claims and transfers.
Second.
Patrick Henry.
Yes.
Patrick Barber.
Yes.
Patrick Hughes.
Yes.
Patrick Thomas.
Yes.
Doug Sparks.
Yes. Thank everybody for coming in, and I think, Larry, is it okay to congratulate you? Our senior magistrate, Mr. Cohen, was married to a very beautiful girl yesterday afternoon, and I was very fortunate enough to attend the ceremony. It went great, had a nice crowd there, and it was just I was very impressed, Larry. It was a very good ceremony, and everybody, a good crowd there, and I appreciate the invitation.
Thank you.
And congratulations. Motion to adjourn.
Second.